Admiral Vexstar stood on the bridge of his massive warship and looked at the star charts. The yellow star ahead was called Sol by the primitive creatures who lived there. His red eyes glowed with satisfaction as he studied the data his scouts had gathered about Earth. "Admiral, we are now entering the outer edge of their solar system," reported his tactical officer. The bridge crew moved with practiced efficiency around the command center of the flagship Devastator. Vexstar's clawed hand traced the path to Earth on the holographic display. His species, the Zephyrians, had conquered 43 worlds in the past century. Each victory had been easier than the last. The beings on Earth would be no different. "Tell me again what our intelligence reports say about these humans," Vexstar commanded. "Sir, they are a young species. They have barely left their home planet. Their technology is primitive. They use chemical rockets and simple radio waves. Our analysts believe they have no weapons that could threaten even our smallest ships." Vexstar laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the bridge. Behind him, a fleet of 800 warships followed in perfect formation. Each ship carried enough firepower to level a continent. The humans would surrender within hours of seeing such might. "How many ships do they have in space?" he asked. "Perhaps a dozen small research vessels, Admiral. Nothing armed. Our scouts detected no defensive installations beyond their moon." Far ahead of the Zephyrian fleet, on a small station orbiting Earth's moon, Commander Jake Sullivan sat in front of a wall of monitors. He had been waiting for this moment for 20 years. His fingers moved quickly across the control panel as he sent coded messages to hidden stations throughout the solar system. "Lisa, are you seeing this?" Jake spoke into his headset. Dr. Lisa Rodriguez looked up from her instruments at the Deep Space Monitoring Division on Earth. Her screens showed dozens of large objects moving through space beyond Pluto. She had been tracking them for 3 days. "Jake, the computer counts 812 ships. They're big, much bigger than anything we've built." "Perfect," Jake said with a grin. "Contact President Turner immediately. Tell him it's time for Protocol Omega." "On Earth, President." Alex Turner received the message while eating breakfast with his family. He kissed his wife goodbye and told her he would be working late. She had no idea that her husband was about to coordinate the defense of the entire planet. Within an hour, Turner sat in a secure room deep beneath the White House. Defense Secretary Ryan Walsh and General Kate Morrison joined him via secure video link. Maps of the solar system covered the walls. "Gentlemen, lady, this is what we've been preparing for," Turner said. "How long do we have?" General Morrison consulted her tablet. "At their current speed, they'll reach Mars in 6 days. Earth in 8 days. Good. Ryan, activate all hidden stations. Kate, begin moving our ships into position. I want every captain to remember their training. We get one chance at this." Secretary Walsh nodded. "Mr. President, the other nations are standing by. Russia, China, Japan, India, and the European Union have all confirmed their ships are ready." Turner smiled grimly. "Then let's give these aliens a surprise they'll never forget." Back on the Zephyrian flagship, Admiral Vexstar studied reports from his advanced scouts. They had detected strange energy readings from the asteroid belt, but nothing that seemed threatening. "Admiral, we're receiving transmissions from the planet," his communications officer reported. "Put them on the main screen." The bridge filled with the sounds of human television broadcasts. Music, news reports, and entertainment shows played in dozens of languages. Vexstar and his crew listened for several minutes before bursting into laughter. They're broadcasting entertainment to space. One officer chuckled. "Listen to those primitive languages," another added. "They can't even speak the same tongue across their planet." Vexstar waved his hand dismissively. "Keep monitoring their communications. I want to know if they detect our approach." What the Zephyrians didn't know was that those broadcasts were carefully designed. Human scientists had spent years creating fake transmissions that would make Earth appear backward and helpless. On Luna Station, Jake Sullivan watched the alien fleet's progress. His instruments showed the invaders maintaining their formation, moving steadily toward the inner solar system. "They're taking the bait," he reported to Dr. Rodriguez. "Jake, I'm reading massive energy signatures from their ships. These aren't explorers. This is a full invasion force. I know. But they think we're helpless. That's going to be their biggest mistake." Jake activated another control panel. Throughout the solar system, hidden stations began powering up weapons that had been disguised as research equipment for decades. Solar collectors that appeared to study the sun were actually massive energy weapons. Space telescopes were really targeting systems. Mining stations in the asteroid belt were armed fortresses. Admiral Vextar felt confident as his fleet passed Neptune. The humans had shown no sign of detecting them. No warnings had been broadcast. No ships had moved to intercept them. "Sir, should we broadcast a surrender demand?" his tactical officer asked. "Not yet. Let them see our full strength first. Fear will make them more cooperative." Vextar had conquered so many worlds that he followed the same pattern every time. Show overwhelming force, demand surrender, and strip the planet of its resources. The process usually took less than a week. He had no idea that every move his fleet made was being tracked by dozens of hidden sensors. Human commanders throughout. The solar system watched and waited for the perfect moment to strike. The trap was set. The prey was walking into it willingly. Soon, the Zephyrians would learn that humanity was far from helpless. Captain Ben Parker checked his instruments one more time. His ship, the Valkyrie, hung invisible in space near Jupiter. The alien fleet was still 2 days away, but Ben wanted everything perfect. "Maya, are you reading their communication frequencies?" he asked his tactical officer. Maya Collins nodded as she studied her screens. "Yes, sir. They're using basic quantum channels. Nothing encrypted. They really think no one can detect them." "Good. Nick, how are our weapons?" Nick Johnson ran his hands over the weapon controls. "All plasma cannons charged and ready, Captain. The new metamaterial cloaking is working perfectly. They can't see us even when we're right next to them." Ben smiled. The Valkyrie was one of 12 stealth ships positioned throughout the outer solar system. Each one was invisible to alien sensors and packed enough firepower to destroy ships 10 times their size. On Earth, Dr. Lisa Rodriguez activated the Solar Collection Array. To any observer, the stations looked like peaceful research platforms studying the sun. In reality, they were the most powerful weapons humanity had ever built. "Array online," she reported to Luna Station. "Jake, we're ready to focus solar energy anywhere in the system within 30 seconds. Commander Jake Sullivan felt a thrill of excitement. "Excellent work, Lisa. How much power can you generate?" "Enough to cut an alien battleship in half." The secret weapons were the result of 50 years of hidden preparation. After the first radio signals from space in the 1970s, a small group of scientists convinced world leaders that humanity needed to prepare for contact. The preparation had been disguised as peaceful space exploration, but every project had a military purpose. The International Space Station was really a command center. The Mars rovers were actually testing weapons systems. The asteroid mining projects were building hidden fortresses. Commander Lisa Brooks piloted her ship, the Liberty, through the outer edges of the solar system. To alien sensors, her vessel looked like a civilian transport fleeing Earth in panic. The truth was very different. "Tom, how are our engines?" she asked her engineer. Tom Bradley grinned from his station. "Running at 60% capacity, Commander. The aliens think we're pushing these old ships to their limits." They have no idea we're holding back. Sam, keep us on course for the asteroid belt. Make it look like we're trying to hide. Navigator Sam Peterson adjusted their flight path. Yes. Ma'am, the aliens should intercept us right where we want them. The Liberty was one of 30 ships playing the role of panicked refugees. Each ship was actually a heavily armed battlecruiser with experimental weapons and armor. They were drawing the alien scouts deeper into human territory. Admiral Vextar grew more confident as his advance. Scouts reported easy victories. 3 human ships had been destroyed without putting up any real fight. The creatures were even weaker than expected. Admiral, we're detecting more human ships fleeing toward their asteroid belt, his sensor officer reported. Excellent. Order squadrons 5 through 8 to pursue and destroy them. Let the survivors spread word of our power. Vextar didn't know that his scouts weren't destroying real ships. The vessels they attacked were unmanned decoys designed to explode dramatically. Human engineers had built hundreds of fake ships for this exact purpose. In the asteroid belt, Captain Casey Adams waited in her fighter behind a large rock. Her squadron of 12 ships was completely hidden from alien sensors. They had been waiting here for 2 days, surviving on recycled air and emergency rations. Casey, this is Rick. I count 6 alien scouts approaching your position. Came the voice of Rick Turner from his own hidden fighter. Copy that, Rick. Everyone stay quiet until they pass the marker. The alien scouts moved confidently through the asteroid field. Their sensors showed nothing but rocks and debris. They had no idea that 40 human fighters were positioned throughout the area. Waiting for the perfect moment to attack, Casey watched as the lead alien ship passed within 50 meters of her position. She could see the strange symbols on its hull and the glow of its engines. The pilot inside had no idea he was about to die. All units, this is Casey. Execute attack pattern Alpha in 3, 2, 1 mark. 40 human fighters suddenly appeared from behind asteroids. Their plasma weapons lit up space as they poured fire into the surprised alien scouts. The battle lasted less than 30 seconds. Casey, this is Rick. All enemy contacts destroyed. No survivors. Good work, people. Return to hiding positions. The main fleet will be here soon. Admiral Vextar noticed when his scouts stopped reporting. He sent more ships to investigate, but they also vanished without a trace. Something was wrong. Admiral, perhaps we should proceed more carefully, suggested his tactical officer. Vextar's red eyes flashed with anger. Nonsense. These humans are using some kind of primitive mines or traps. Order the main fleet to advance in full battle formation. We'll sweep away whatever tricks they have. On Luna Station, Jake Sullivan watched the alien fleet change formation. The invaders were becoming more cautious, but they were still coming. Dr. Rodriguez, they are speeding up. Looks like they want to get past the asteroid belt quickly. Lisa Rodriguez checked her calculations. That's perfect, Jake. The faster they move, the less time they'll have to react when we spring the trap. President Turner received updates every hour in his underground command center. The news was good. Human ships were in position throughout the solar system. The alien fleet was walking into a carefully planned ambush. Mr. President, our allies report ready status, Defense Secretary Walsh announced. The Chinese battle group is hidden behind Mars. Russian ships are positioned near Venus. The European fleet is standing by at Earth. What about our secret weapons? General Morrison smiled. All solar collection arrays are charged. Our quantum targeting systems are online. The metamaterial cloaking is working perfectly on all ships. Turner nodded with satisfaction. Gentlemen, we're about to show these aliens that humanity is not helpless prey. We're the predators in this system. The alien fleet continued its approach to the asteroid belt, unaware that it was flying into the most sophisticated military trap in human history. Every move they made was being tracked. Every ship was being targeted. The hunters were about to become the hunted. The Zephyrian fleet entered the asteroid belt in perfect formation. Admiral Vextar felt confident again. His sensors showed nothing but rocks and empty space. Whatever had destroyed his scouts was gone now. "Admiral, we're detecting the fleeing." "Human ships ahead," reported his tactical officer. "They appear to be hiding behind the larger asteroids. Deploy battle groups 3, 7, and 9 to hunt them down. Show no mercy." What Vextar didn't know was that Fleet Admiral Grace Kelly and Commodore Paul Wright had spent months turning the asteroid belt into a killing field. Hidden weapons platforms waited behind every large rock. Battle stations disguised as asteroids lined the fleet's path. Lieutenant Commander Amy Foster watched from her command ship Titan's Hammer as the alien fleet spread out to search for human vessels. Her tactical team worked quietly at their stations. "Chris, are all weapons platforms ready?" She asked her operations officer. Chris Murphy checked his displays. "All green, Commander. Every platform has target locks on multiple alien ships." "Dana, what about communications?" Communications specialist Dana White nodded. "All human ships are connected through quantum entanglement channels. The aliens can't detect or jam our signals." Amy smiled grimly. The aliens were about to learn the humans could coordinate attacks across vast distances instantly. Every ship and platform in the belt would fire at exactly the same moment. Captain Tony Garcia commanded Hidden Fortress 7, a weapons platform built inside a hollowed-out asteroid. His station looked like a large rock to alien sensors, but it packed more firepower than most battleships. "Julie, what's our target priority?" he asked his weapons officer. Julie Evans studied the alien formation on her screen. "I'm locked onto their command ship, Captain. Max has confirmed the target through sensor analysis." Sensor operator Max Cooper nodded from his station. "That's definitely their flagship, sir. Look at the size of it and the way the other ships are positioned around it." Tony gripped his command chair. "Outstanding. When Admiral Kelly gives the signal, put everything we have into that ship." The Zephyrian fleet moved deeper into the asteroid belt, completely unaware that hundreds of weapons were tracking their every move. Admiral Vextar studied his tactical displays and felt satisfied with his formation. "Sir, we're approaching the position where we detected the fleeing human ships," his sensor officer reported. "Good. Order all ships to prepare for battle. These humans will learn what happens when they run from the Zephyrian Empire." At that moment, Fleet Admiral Grace Kelly gave the signal from her hidden command post. Throughout the asteroid belt, weapons platforms that had looked like rocks suddenly revealed themselves. The attack began with devastating precision. Railguns hidden in asteroids opened fire simultaneously. Plasma cannons erupted from concealed positions. Energy beams lanced out from platforms the aliens had never detected. Amy Foster coordinated the assault from Titan's Hammer. "All platforms, execute pattern Delta. Focus fire on the heavy cruisers first." The alien formation dissolved into chaos as ships exploded around them. Admiral Vextar's bridge shook violently as weapons fire struck his flagship. "Damage report," he shouted. "Forward shields down 60%. Hull breaches on decks 4 through 7. Where are these weapons coming from?" His tactical officer stared at his screens in shock. "Sir, the asteroids." "The asteroids are shooting at us." Captain Tony Garcia watched with satisfaction as his fortress pumped railgun rounds into the alien flagship. "Julie, switch to plasma cannons. Let's finish this ship." "Yes, sir. Firing plasma batteries 1 through 6. Blue energy beams struck the Zephyrian command ship, burning through its armor like paper. Explosions rippled along its hull as critical. Systems failed. Colonel Stephen Ross led his fighter squadron out from behind a cluster of asteroids. His pilots had been waiting for this moment for hours. "All wings, this is Stephen. Target the alien fighters. Don't let them reorganize." Major Helen Clark and Captain Drew Mills led their own squadrons in coordinated attacks on the smaller alien vessels. The enemy fighters were fast, but human pilots had been training for this battle for years. Admiral Vestar realized his fleet was being destroyed. These weren't primitive humans hiding behind rocks. This was a carefully planned military operation using advanced weapons and tactics. All ships retreat, break formation, and withdraw. But it was too late. Human weapons platforms emerged from hiding all around the alien fleet. What had looked like an empty asteroid field was actually a maze of fortified positions. Admiral Patricia Lewis commanded the primary battle platform, hidden deep in the asteroid belt. Her weapons coordinator, Commander Kevin Price, tracked dozens of alien ships trying to escape. "Patricia, we have 17 enemy vessels attempting to break out of the kill zone," reported Major Linda Green from the Tactical Center. "Don't let them escape, Kevin. Order all platforms to focus fire on the fleeing ships." The asteroid belt lit up with weapons fire as human platforms poured destruction into the retreating aliens. Ships that had conquered dozens of worlds were being torn apart by weapons they had never imagined. Battle Group Commander Frank Taylor emerged from hiding with his squadron of heavy cruisers. The ships that had appeared to be civilian transports suddenly revealed their true nature as advanced warships. All ships, attack formation Alpha. Captain Davis, bring your supply ships forward to keep our weapons charged. Captain Susan Davis smiled as her supply ships revealed massive ammunition factories and energy generators. Human logistics had been carefully planned to keep their forces fighting at maximum efficiency. Wing Commander Jason Bell led his fighters in a devastating attack on the alien rear guard. Squadron leader Carol King coordinated with ground-based weapons to trap the remaining enemy ships. "Jason, this is Carol. Drive them toward Platform 17. Tony Garcia has a clear shot at their engines." The coordinated attack was perfect. Human forces had trained for years to fight as a single unit across vast distances. Every ship and platform knew exactly where to position itself for maximum effect. Dr. Nathan Young watched the battle from his research vessel Discovery. His real-time analysis of alien technology was being transmitted to every human commander. "Captain Martinez, the alien ships are vulnerable to concentrated plasma fire at their engine junctions," he reported. Captain Roy Martinez and Lieutenant Amanda Scott led their fighter wings in precise attacks on the weak points Nathan had identified. Alien ships that seemed heavily armored were destroyed with surgical strikes. Admiral Vextar's flagship was dying around him. Half his fleet was already destroyed, and the rest were trapped in a deadly maze of human weapons. His sensors showed energy signatures that were impossible for such a primitive species. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the humans," his communications officer reported. "Put it through." Fleet Admiral Grace Kelly's voice filled the Zephyrian bridge. "Alien Fleet, this is Admiral Kelly of the Sol Defense Force. You have 30 seconds to surrender or be destroyed." Admiral Vextar looked at his tactical display. 3/4 of his mighty fleet was gone. The remaining ships were damaged and surrounded. The humans had turned his certain victory into total defeat. "Never," he snarled. "The Zephyrian Empire does not surrender to primitives." Grace Kelly's reply was calm and cold. "Then you will die like the rest of your fleet." The final phase of the battle began as human forces closed in on the surviving alien ships. The asteroid belt had become a graveyard for the once mighty Zephyrian invasion force. The surviving Zephyrian ships limped toward Mars with their hulls damaged and their crews shaken. Admiral Vextar had lost 600 ships in the asteroid belt. Only 200 vessels remained from his once mighty fleet. "Admiral, we're approaching Mars orbit," his navigation officer reported. "Sensors show no immediate threats." Vextar studied his tactical display with growing desperation. The red planet ahead looked peaceful, but he had learned not to trust appearances when dealing with humans. "Deploy all remaining fighters. I want every approach vector covered. These humans have surprised us twice. There will not be a third time." Admiral Patricia Lewis watched the approaching alien fleet from the Mars defense platform. The massive station had been disguised as a mining facility for 20 years, but it was actually the most powerful weapons platform humanity had ever built. "Kevin, are all orbital batteries ready?" she asked her deputy commander, Commander Kevin. Price checked his displays. "All systems green, Admiral. We have target locks on every enemy ship." "Good. Linda, what's the status of our mobile units?" Major Linda Green smiled as she studied the tactical map. "Battle Group Alpha is positioned behind Mars. Wing formations Beta and Gamma are hiding in the asteroid debris field. The aliens are flying right into our crossfire." The human forces around Mars represented the pinnacle of military technology. Quantum-entangled targeting systems allowed instant coordination between ships separated by millions of kilometers. Every weapon could be fired with perfect timing. Battle Group Commander Frank Taylor waited with his ships in the shadow of Mars. His vessels appeared to be simple cargo haulers to alien sensors, but they were actually the most advanced warships in human space. "Susan, are your logistics ships ready?" he asked Captain Susan Davis. "Frank, my ships can keep our weapons firing for 6 hours straight. The aliens won't know what hit them." Frank nodded with satisfaction. Human military doctrine emphasized sustained firepower and coordinated attacks. The aliens were about to face both in devastating combination. The Zephyrian fleet entered Mars orbit cautiously. Admiral Vextar had learned to fear human deception, but his sensors showed only empty space and a few mining stations. "Sir, we're detecting some human ships near the planet," his tactical officer reported. "They appear to be cargo vessels." "Destroy them immediately. I want no witnesses to our passage." The alien fleet opened fire on what they thought were helpless cargo ships. The vessels exploded dramatically, exactly as designed. They were unmanned decoys built to fool the enemy. "Target destroyed, Admiral. Should we proceed to Earth?" "Yes. We must reach their home world before they can prepare more surprises." At that moment, Wing Commander Jason Bell led his squadron out from behind Mars. The planet itself had hidden an entire battle fleet from alien sensors. "All wings, this is Jason. Execute Plan Charlie. Hit them fast and hard." Squadron leader Carol King brought her fighters up from Mars' South Pole, while dozens of other squadrons emerged from hiding spots throughout the orbital region. The aliens found themselves surrounded by ships that had appeared from nowhere. "Admiral." Vextar watched in horror as his formation came under attack from every direction. Human fighters moved with coordination that seemed impossible across such vast distances. How are they communicating so quickly? He demanded. His communications officer shook his head. "Unknown, sir. Their signals are instantaneous across the entire battle area." The quantum-entangled communication systems were humanity's greatest advantage. Every ship could coordinate with every other ship instantly, allowing tactical movements that confused and overwhelmed the enemy. Dr. Nathan Young continued his analysis from the research vessel Discovery. His real-time intelligence was being shared with every human commander in the battle. "All units, this is Nathan. Focus fire on the aliens' reactor housings. Their ships will chain explode if you hit the right spots." Captain Roy Martinez and Lieutenant Amanda Scott led their wings in precise attacks on the weak points. Alien ships that had seemed powerful were destroyed by small groups of human fighters. Admiral Patricia Lewis activated the Mars Defense Platform's main weapons. The mining station revealed batteries of particle cannons that had been hidden. For decades, Kevin, target their flagship. Linda, coordinate with the orbital batteries for maximum effect. Massive energy beams lanced out from positions throughout Mars orbit. The alien flagship shuddered under the combined assault as its shields failed one by one. Admiral Vextar felt his ship dying beneath him. The bridge filled with smoke as critical systems exploded. His proud fleet was being torn apart by enemies he had dismissed as primitives. "Sir, we're receiving another transmission from the humans," his communications officer reported. Fleet Admiral Grace Kelly's voice came through the static. "Admiral Vextar, this is your final warning. Surrender now or face complete destruction." Vextar looked at his tactical display. Half of his remaining ships were already destroyed. The rest were damaged and outnumbered. But Zephyrian pride would not allow surrender. "Tell them we fight to the death," he ordered. Captain Tony Garcia brought his mobile fortress into the battle. The disguised asteroid revealed its true nature as a weapons platform that could move and fight like a warship. "Julie, target their heavy cruisers. Max, keep scanning for weak points." The human attack intensified as more hidden weapons revealed themselves. What had appeared to be debris around Mars was actually a network of automated defense systems. Captain Susan Davis coordinated the supply chain that kept human weapons firing without pause. Her logistics ships moved between battle groups, replacing ammunition and recharging energy weapons. "Frank, I'm reading low power levels on your port batteries," she reported to Battle Group Commander Taylor. "Copy that, Susan. Move your recharger." Ships into position. The sustained firepower capability gave human forces a decisive advantage. While alien weapons grew weaker during the long battle, human ships maintained full strength throughout the engagement. Wing Commander Jason Bell led a coordinated strike on the alien command ship. Squadron Leader Carol King attacked from the opposite direction, while orbital platforms provided covering fire. "Carol, this is Jason. Hit their bridge section on my mark. 3, 2, 1, execute." The combined attack overwhelmed the flagships. Defenses. Explosions rippled through its hull as the command structure collapsed. Admiral Vextar felt his ship breaking apart around him. The humans had outfought his fleet at every turn. Their technology was more advanced, their tactics more sophisticated, and their coordination absolutely perfect. "All ships, retreat to Earth. We must warn the Empire," he ordered with his dying breath. But there would be no retreat. Human forces had surrounded the entire alien fleet. Captain Troy Watson's battle group moved in to deliver the final blows to the surviving enemy ships. "All units, this is Troy. No alien ship leaves this system alive." The last Zephyrian vessels were hunted down and destroyed in the space around Mars. Their mighty invasion fleet had been reduced to drifting wreckage and debris. Admiral Patricia Lewis watched the final explosions from her command platform. The battle was over. Humanity had won a complete victory against enemies who had conquered dozens of worlds. "Kevin, send the all-clear signal to Earth. The threat is eliminated." A Mars orbital defense had succeeded beyond all expectations. Not a single alien ship had survived to threaten Earth or carry word back to their empire. The invasion was over before it had truly begun. The last Zephyrian ship exploded in a brilliant flash of light near Mars orbit. Commander Troy Watson watched from his battle group as the debris scattered into space. 800 alien warships had entered the Sol system. None would return. "Home. All units, this is Troy. Battlefield secured. Begin search and rescue operations for any survivors." Throughout the orbital zone around Mars, human ships moved carefully through the wreckage. Most alien crew members had chosen to self-destruct rather than face capture, but a few damaged ships still showed life signs. Fleet Admiral Grace Kelly stood on the bridge of her flagship and surveyed the destruction. The space around Mars looked like a ship graveyard, filled with the twisted remains of what had once been a mighty invasion fleet. "Admiral, we're receiving surrender signals from 3 damaged alien vessels," reported her communications officer. "Accepted. Send boarding parties to secure the ships and treat any wounded. We need to learn about their empire." President Alex Turner received the victory report in his underground command center. For the first time in days, he allowed himself to smile. The greatest threat humanity had ever faced was over. "Mr. President, all alien ships have been destroyed or captured," Defense Secretary Ryan Walsh announced. "Our losses were minimal: 12 fighters and 1 corvette." General Kate Morrison added her report. "Sir, we're analyzing captured alien technology. Dr. Baker and her team are very excited about what they're finding." Turner nodded with satisfaction. "Excellent work, everyone. Now comes the hard part. We need to tell the world what really happened." Here, the president walked to his desk and activated a secure communication link to television networks around the globe. For 50 years, humanity's space program had been a carefully guarded secret. That was about to change. "My fellow citizens of Earth," Turner began his address from the United Nations building. "Today I must reveal to you a truth that has been hidden for half a century. We are not alone in the universe, and we have just fought and won our first interstellar war." Around the world, people stopped what they were doing to listen. The president's words seemed impossible, but the evidence was displayed on screens everywhere. Wreckage from alien ships, recordings of the battles, testimony from the crews who had fought. For decades, our greatest scientists and engineers have been preparing for this day, Turner continued. Project leaders like Dr. Elizabeth Baker and General Curtis Stone have worked in secret to defend our world. Today, their efforts saved humanity. Dr. Elizabeth Baker watched the president's speech from her laboratory on Luna Station. Around her, teams of scientists studied pieces of alien technology that had been recovered from the wreckage. "Patricia, look at this power source," she said to Dr. Patricia Moore. "It's more advanced than anything we've built, but we can understand it." "The weapon systems are impressive too," Dr. Moore replied, "but our quantum targeting was clearly superior. Their ships couldn't coordinate like ours." The technology captured from the Zephyrian fleet would advance human science by decades. But more importantly, it would help humanity prepare for other threats that might exist among the stars. Engineer Bobby Rivers worked with his team to reverse engineer alien engines and weapons. The enemy had underestimated human intelligence as much as human military strength. "These aliens thought we were primitive," Bobby told his assistants. "They never imagined we could build weapons this advanced while keeping them secret." Colonel Marcus Webb played the recorded final transmission from Admiral Vestar for intelligence analysts. The alien commander's last words were being studied by linguists and military experts. "They were never primitive," the alien admiral had said. "They were hunting us from the moment we entered their system." Webb smiled grimly. He finally understood. "We weren't helpless prey. We were predators waiting for the perfect moment to strike." Commander Jake Sullivan stood on Luna Station and looked out at the stars. The victory was complete, but he knew it was only the beginning. Other alien empires existed out there, and some might be more dangerous than the Zephyrians. "Lisa, how long until our new ships are ready?" he asked Dr. Rodriguez. "The first squadron of interstellar cruisers will launch in 6 months," she replied. "We're incorporating the best alien technology with our own innovations." Jake nodded. "Good. The next time we meet aliens, will be visiting them. Construction had already begun on humanity's first interstellar fleet. The ships being built were not designed for defense. They were weapons of conquest, built to carry human power to distant stars. Admiral Patricia Lewis reviewed the battle reports from her position on the Mars defense platform. Every engagement had gone exactly as planned. Human tactics, technology, and training had proven superior in every way. "Kevin, send these reports to Earth Command," she instructed Commander Price. "I want every detail studied and improved." "Yes, ma'am. What about our next mission?" Lewis smiled as she looked at star charts showing nearby solar systems. "We're going to visit the Zephyrian Empire. I think it's time they learned what happens when you threaten humanity." The message was clear to any species monitoring human communications. Earth was no longer a target for conquest. It was the home of a new military power that would not tolerate threats. Captain Susan Davis supervised the construction of new supply ships designed for long-range operations. Human logistics would support fleets operating hundreds of light years. From Earth, "Tom, how many ships can we support simultaneously?" she asked engineer Tom Bradley. "With the new automated factories, we can keep 50 battle groups supplied indefinitely," Tom replied. "The aliens won't be able to match our production." Capacity. Throughout the solar system, hidden bases revealed themselves to the public for the first time. Citizens watched in amazement as weapons platforms emerged from asteroids and battle fleets uncloaked near every planet. The revelation changed everything. Humanity realized they were part of a larger galaxy filled with alien civilizations. Some might be peaceful, but others would certainly be hostile. President Turner concluded his address with a promise. "We will never again face extinction in secret. Our military will defend Earth openly, and we will take our place among the stars as a force for human interests." Captain Troy Watson prepared his battle group for humanity's first interstellar mission. The ships that had destroyed the Zephyrian fleet would soon carry human power to alien worlds. "All crews, this is Troy. We showed these aliens that humanity cannot be conquered. Now we're going to show the galaxy that we're the ones doing the conquering." The age of human expansion had begun. The species that had been dismissed as primitive was about to become the most feared military force in the galaxy. Admiral Vextar's final warning to his empire would never be received. His ships had been destroyed too quickly to send word home. The Zephyrian Empire would learn about human strength only when human warships appeared in their skies. The stars that had once seemed distant and mysterious were now humanity's next frontier. The species that had defended Earth so successfully was ready to claim its place among the galaxy's great powers. No alien empire would ever again make the mistake of underestimating humanity. The hunters had become the hunted, and Earth's children were ready to explore the galaxy with weapons in their hands. The final lesson of the Zephyrian invasion was simple but deadly. Humanity did not just survive threats to their existence. They eliminated them completely and then expanded into the territory their enemies had once controlled. The war was over. The conquest was about to begin.